Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the Believe Team's Monday Night Live summer series, all about different starter kits that Young Living has and different products that they have. And we just wanted to highlight them because they're all so amazing that they each deserved their own call to talk about them. So tonight is all about CBD, which is one of the newest product lines that Young Living has launched within the past year and a half. And we're all using it, learning about it, seeing results and stories. So tonight you're going to learn why we need to be careful about where we get our CBD, what CBD is. You're going to hear several stories and how to get it in the most cost-effective way. So we're thrilled that you're here tonight with several of us, and I'm going to hand it over to my friend Suzanne, and she's going to talk about why Young Living and why Nature's Ultra from Young Living.
Hello, welcome everybody. Young Living has a very unique guarantee, and that is seed to seal. The first presentation that I saw, Shannon talked about seed to seal, and I knew that I wanted to be part of this company because of the integrity behind seed to seal. There are three pillars to seed to seal. It's sourcing, science, and standards. So basically it's very simple. Young Living monitors everything from the very simplest of the soil to make sure that it is the very best there is, the very best seed. They watch the cultivation process. Many of the fields are hand weeded. They also watch the harvest and the distillation. During the distillation process, there are third-party testing. So not only Young Living guarantees that these oils are 100% pure, but there's third parties that come in and test to guarantee this. Young Living has farms in 6 continents. So North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. And they don't grow their plants for our oils in a greenhouse. They are grown in the environment that they are naturally grown in. So obviously we could not grow a frankincense tree in Indiana, although this last month we probably thought it was hot enough to do it, but we couldn't do it. Climate's not right here, but in Oman it is. So Young Living has farms all over the world, and each farm is so scrutinized, just like the ones in Utah. Then we'll go into talking about why do you want Nature's Ultra? Let me tell you, there's 3 different types of CBD that's produced by Nature's Ultra and Young Living. They've joined forces together. This is not one of theirs. There are 3 CBDs. There's full spectrum, and that means that all the compounds that are found in that plant, and that's terpenes, essential oils, and other cannabinoids, they're all in the oil. And that also may contain some THC, and it could show up on a drug test. Broad spectrum is another type of CBD, and it's a bit of a mix between the full spectrum and isolate CBD, which we'll talk about in a little bit. There's less research on broad spectrum and less availability of that one. Young Living trademarked the term smart spectrum CBD, and it puts a whole CBD in a whole different category above all these others. Smart spectrum is like a pure friendship. It's that best friend that you can tell your every secret to. It's a fully compatible oil. So everything's in agreement in the smart spectrum. So what they've done is they've taken this CBD isolate from the plants that Young Living and Nature's Ultra grow, and that's what they use, that pure form. The Young Living CBD goes through 7 extraction steps to get this pure isolate or that single compound. And so Young Living CBD is the purest of the pure. And as a matter of fact, Nature's Ultra's first hemp field was the first certified organic by the United States Department of Agriculture. So that speaks volumes right there. So Nature's Ultra exclusively infuses their CBD products with seed to seal quality essential oils from Young Living, and likewise to infuse Nature's Ultra CBD products with Young Living essential oils, they're required to meet the same standards, that seed to seal. So they want to assure us that we have the highest integrity, the very best oils out there in the essential oil industry.
Excellent. Thank you. And yes, we want the highest quality oils when it comes to our essential oils, but we especially want it when it comes to CBD. And you don't need to be getting CBD from a gas station or any place that you can't trust. That's why I waited to even try CBD products until Young Living came out with it, because I knew I could trust them to have the highest quality, the safest of all CBD products out there. Thank you, Suzanne, for that. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Lisa, and she's going to teach us a little bit about CBD. You muted again. I think it unmuted and then muted real quick. There you go.
Okay. Okay, sorry. All right, so what is CBD? CBD is a natural substance from the hemp plant that provides support to your endocannabinoid system. And this is a system in your body that regulates many of the functions to help your body maintain homeostasis. So functions that are linked to your endocannabinoid system, there's a big list of them. And I'm just going to read them off. There's appetite, digestion, immune function, inflammation, neuroinflammation, mood, energy regulation, sleep, reproduction and fertility, motor control, temperature regulation, memory, pain, pleasure, and reward. So how does your endocannabinoid system work? And if any of these functions that I just mentioned get out of balance, the endocannabinoid system sends out endocannabinoids, that word is hard to say multiple times, and enzymes to regulate the body back into homeostasis. So example would be, if you get hot, you're going to sweat to bring your body temperature down. If you get too cold, you're going to shiver. When you get hungry, your stomach growls. When you get tired, you yawn. So CBD helps to regulate your endocannabinoid system. So your body makes its own endocannabinoids, and that's molecules in your body, but you can use plant cannabinoids like CBD to help support your endocannabinoid system in maintaining homeostasis, just like you use vitamins in your body to provide the nutrients that your body needs. With Nature's Ultra, as Suzanne talked about earlier, the purity of Nature's Ultra, you're getting pure, safe, and legal CBD with 0% THC, and they are infused with Young Living's essential oils, which provides the benefits of the terpenes. Therefore, you still get that entourage effect even without the THC in there. So because Nature's Ultra follows the same seed to seal standards as Young Living, and so all of their ingredients are natural, they're organic, they're vegan approved, and they're gluten-free. And next up is a testimony from my brother-in-law, who has been using the CBD oil for, I don't know, maybe a little over a year now. So this testimony is back right after he first started using it, but his name is Craig, and he's up next.
Just a second. I didn't know. Oh dear. Sorry about that.
Hi, my name is Craig Jones, and I'm doing this as a personal testimony on Young Living CBD oil. That it's my personal experience on it. I about 10 years ago, I had a tooth extracted, an upper molar, that left an open sinus that the oral surgeon ended up having to do a skin graft to close after a couple weeks. But ever since then, for the past 9.5, 10 years, I've just experienced a lot of pain that never really got better. It just kept getting worse and worse. And I've spent lots of money, lots of time going back to different doctors with different options, and 2 different neurologists that's put me on medication that my body just couldn't tolerate at all. Just didn't make me feel normal at all, and then really didn't help the pain. But anyway, about I guess it was last fall, I was approached about maybe trying CBD oil as some kind, to get some relief. Well, I mean, I was skeptical, probably like a lot of you, that I hadn't heard a lot about CBD oil, so I didn't immediately use it. But I did my research and talked to some people, and actually found out that one of my old buddies is using it to get relief for basically the same thing I got. What I have is called trigeminal neuralgia, and that's often described during the worst episodes. Is often described as one of the most excruciating pains known to mankind, and I can testify to that. It's terrible. My way of life had changed drastically. The past couple of years, I would actually sit at home with ice packs, heat packs, just trying to get some kind of relief. So after doing my research, I did try it, and it helped drastically. I did have to go to the 1,000 milligram bottle, and within 2 to 3 days, I was 99% pain free. And it's just unreal that it took me that long to be introduced to it. I mean, I hadn't heard of CBD oil. But anyway, I want to share something else too. The cost is it's not real cheap, and there's a lot of CBD oil out there to be sold. And I actually did try a cheaper version of basically the same milligrams. I can't remember the name of it, but it was from a health store. And probably within a week, I was back into the same pain I was in before trying the Young Living. So after a month or so of using that, and it didn't work. It just didn't work like the Young Living brand. And I went back on Young Living about a month and a half ago, and I'll never get off of it because it works. It definitely works, or it works for me. So if you're skeptical out there, I definitely, coming from me, I would say, give it a shot. It is well worth it. It has helped me change my way of life drastically. Thank you.
Wow. It gives me goosebumps every time I hear about that. And just knowing the life change that he experienced because of this high quality product, pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. So thanks to Craig for sharing that story, and thanks to Lisa for sharing CBD with him and it being something that really did change his life for the better. Okay, I am going to share my friend Leanne with you this evening, and Leanne is going to share her story with using some CBD products. Leanne, are you able to unmute yourself? No, just a second. Let me try on my end. There you go.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I unmuted me on my phone, but I had to on the computer too. My name is Leanne Hahn, and I am a special education teacher. Pray for me because I got kids tomorrow. Listening to Craig's story and just listening coming into this, I've kind of had a few things that I wanted to touch on. I've been with Young Living and I was trying to figure it out and I can't find it, but it's been 3 or 4. How long have you been with it, Shannon? Okay. I think it's been close to 5 years for me. My history for the use of CBD oil started with, I will be 53 in 29 days. Before I was 50, I had my first surgery. Literally within 2 years, from May 31st of 2018 to May 30th of 2020, I had, 2019, 17 to 19. Anyway, in 2 years period, I had a major back surgery from osteoarthritis and a ruptured disc. I had both of my knees replaced and a total reverse shoulder replacement. So I've got some really good arthritis going on. And I was 50 years old. Everybody was like, well, that's, this is crazy. I had to have a reverse shoulder replacement because although it was my third joint replacement, I really had never had any pain until after I had my knees replaced. And I'm one of those people that I have pain in one spot. And so as I would get something replaced, all of a sudden the other one would start. I injured my knee 35 years ago, right out of college, playing volleyball. So it always bothered me. I've got a high pain tolerance, but I'm miserable. I've looked at CBD oil over time, and just because of my relationship with Young Living, I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I can't just go get that from somewhere. I can't really trust somebody else. I want what I know is supposed to be right. Fast forward to getting my joint replacements, still having issues, being on concrete all day. My neurologist sent me to a pain management doctor. So I have a prescription for Percocet. I have a large dosage of Percocet because of what I need. It doesn't bother me. I thankfully don't have an addictive personality. I can take it and drive. I can take it and go to school and work, and nobody knows it. But that's not what I want in my body. So Young Living came out with it. I said I was a teacher. I'm also a single teacher, and I don't make enough money to take care of myself hardly. So when Young Living first came out with it, it was not something that was on ER. I've been on ER since I started, and I just couldn't financially factor that into my program. The first time it became available on ER, I'm right there. Here you go. Yep, I want that. So I started out that situation, and that's when I started with it. I see a pain rehabilitation doctor because of my prescriptions, and I've always been really good with relationship with her. She encouraged me to look at CBD oil and knew the situation. She's been very happy since then. I would take no more, sometimes 2 a day. Usually it was, I'm kind of one of those, I'll go for 3 or 4 days and need one every day, and then I might go a week and not need one. And that's kind of how it went. When I started taking CBD oil, I right away backed off of how much I needed of my pain meds to get through. And my biggest thing to that was I noticed that, but you just kind of think, well, okay, it works. Just getting it ordered on time and getting it in. I'd been on it, I don't know, for quite a while, and I knew that it helped, but I just thought, well, I still at times would need to take a Percocet, and it was just like, maybe it doesn't as much. I ran out one time before my delivery came in. that, again, you just chalk it up. Well, it's one of those days I'm going to have to take a Percocet. And I didn't realize at the time that I was so miserable because I didn't have my CBD oil. I got my CBD oil, I took it, and all of a sudden I didn't need that again. And I'm like, well, then I did it again, thinking I'll never do that again. It happened again. And so it just really solidified for me the benefit and the powerfulness of the CBD oil. Like I said, I really went on the situation because I trust the seed distill of nature's I can't even tell you, it's been a long day. Because knowing that Young Living has researched that and things, and I know that seed distill stuff is there. The powerfulness of how it works has been good. My rehabilitation doctor loves that situation. She in turn talked to me before I started and when I started about, this is what you can take 1,000 milligrams. It's not going to show up on a drug test. I had a drug test 2 weeks ago on Thursday. It doesn't show up. I take it every day. There are times that I take it twice a day. So that safety net's there if you're in a situation. Ironically, as a teacher, I don't get drug tested. Go figure. But just still having that comfort to know that if I was drug tested, then I'm fine. But also seeing that effect of how it takes care of the pain for me and things like that. I'll have another joint replacement. We're putting it off as long as we can. CBD oils helps with that. I saw my doctor this summer and he's like, what do you think? And I'm like, well, it hurts sometimes. He's like, you were a mess last time. And I'm like, well, I told you it hurt. But just to be able to have something that's more natural to take care of that for the majority of the time has been my biggest thing.
Awesome.
That's really all I got to say.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you for sharing
You're
your story. And I'm so grateful that you're medically monitored and it is helping you get off the prescriptions. And
right.
Incredible. So thank you for sharing that with us this evening.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm handing it over to Danny Berry, and he's going to share his experience with the CBD muscle rub. So Leanne was talking a lot about the oil, and that's what Craig was talking about as well, the CBD oil that comes in that starter kit, and now Danny's going to talk about the muscle rub.
Okay, am I on? Can you hear me? Okay. I'm not very good with this. Suzanne will tell you that. I struggle with these things. For those of you that know me, I'm not a man of large stature, and I joke about it. People say, what's wrong with you? And I said, well, it's too many years of the skinny man keeping up with the big boys. But as a result of that, I have some issues with joint mobility, some stiffness, discomfort, etc. And primarily, I use the muscle rub on my low back. And I usually do that every morning because getting out of bed is a chore for me. But I will apply that to my low back, and most days just in the morning, and that's all. Depending on the workload and the activity level, etc. Some days I will reapply a second time, but I can tell normally within minutes. It's kind of like, oh, that feels pretty good, and then after a while you're like, oh, it's gone, and you don't really track the time, but it doesn't take long for the effects to soak in, literally for it to soak in and do its job. So that is my primary use of the muscle rub. And then I have some issues with my hands, joints. So in applying to my back, then it also applies to my hands. So none of it is wasted. And then occasionally I will put it on my neck. I have some issues there as well. But before the muscle rub, we would use some other Young Living products that did a good job, but this seems to have a better results, pretty quick results, and it's not something I have to do, several times a day. And occasionally, like I said, I'll have to reapply, but it depends on the workload and how much bending and twisting, etc., that I do. But it was a very welcome product. We were using other things that did a good job, but this seems to be the pick for my issues, and it's been a big help. So pretty simple. I don't have too many horror stories to tell, but some injuries and some accidents when we suffer from those things in the long term. But this takes a lot of that away, and it makes me able to function more normally. So that's my short story. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Love hearing from you. And we can attest, the Muscle Rub, I think, is one of our favorite products here in our family. And you hit on all of the reasons why. It comes in the starter kit, and you can either get the 300 milligram or the 600 milligram versions. Last a long time and super effective. We use it for all the things as well. Thank you, Danny, for sharing. Okay, we are going to close it out here, and Ashley is going to tell us about how we can get CBD, as Leanne mentioned, on a budget and make it work for our family, and then also some of the other perks that come along with your starter kit.
Okay. All right, so I'm just like Shannon said, Shannon said, oh my word, I'm going to touch on ER, which is Essential Rewards. It is our monthly wellness program that we offer. So you see it in a lot of other companies. They've got their monthly boxes that you can order. Then that's basically what ER is for us. You customize the box to products that you're going to use, products that you need, and then Young Living gives you back a portion of what you spend in ER points, and then that allows you to get more products. So my favorite part of ER is that my family, my husband and I have 4 kids, so there's 6 of us, and for a long time we were a family on one income, and so I had to be very strategic in how I budgeted. Obviously, the more I learned about the chemicals and things that are in our products, the more I wanted to change everything out. But on a budget, I couldn't really switch everything in my house. And so with ER, I would order what I needed every single month, and then I would store up my ER points and then use those points to either buy something new that I wanted to change in my house, or to stock up on products that we were already using. And so we bought a new house last year, actually last July. So we've been in our house for a full year, and our entire house is Young Living products. There is no chemicals, no toxic products, everything in our house is young. It comes from Young Living. And it's like Suzanne talked about, and like Leanne talked about, when you trust a company and you know their processes and their integrity, you stand behind them. And then so they're so grateful that you are purchasing every month that they reward you. So you start off the first few months and you get 10% back on your order. And then months 4 through 24, you get 20% back on your order. And then after you've been on ER for 24 months, you get 25% back. So if I order $100 every month, I get 25 points back. So then basically I spent $75 on my product. And so I love, and then throughout the year, you get special gifts, just a bonus. Hey, thank you so much for being a faithful consumer of the products. And so to me, especially if you're someone on a budget, and like it's been mentioned, the CBD is fantastic. The quality is like none other, but you will have to pay for that quality. So ER is great because you're going to need the CBD. You've already heard that. Once you start it, you're going to need to keep using it. So put that on ER, earn those points, make money off of what you have to use anyway, and then get more products, more CBD, try the rub, try the roller, whatever. ER is the best way to go if you are going to use the CBD and continue using it from here on out. The other nice thing that Young Living gives you when you become a member is that you get a referral link. So you get an opportunity to share with others. So let's say you get the CBD kit and you absolutely love it, you're having amazing results, and people ask you, what are you doing? And you tell them, and they say, well, I need that, or my mom needs that. How do I get it? You give them your referral code, help them get a kit, and Young Living pays you. I mean, they give you $50 to help others get started on this natural living journey. And then you can do it as much or as little as you want to. When I first got my kit, my aunt is actually Leanne, the one who spoke earlier. She actually gifted me my kit as a Christmas present. And so when she gave it to me, I was like, I'm not doing this business thing at all. I'm not doing it. And obviously, as I started using and loving the product, I just accidentally started sharing. And I just developed a passion for it. And then that sharing just started happening more and more. And so now, so then I decided, well, I'm just going to share just enough to get my order paid for, because we're on a tight budget and I don't want to have to dip into our budget. So I'm going to get just my order paid for. And now I love telling people, this is my favorite part, I love telling people that we are a family of 6 on 2 income, because my check that I make from Young Living, from just helping people fall in love with the products and this lifestyle, now allows me to pay for my order and more. Like, I put my kids in dance. And so if that's something that you're looking for, you know, maybe you want to use the CBD, but you don't want to dip into your budget, then this is a great way to do it. The business option is fantastic. Our community, these people that you heard talking tonight, they're all wonderful. They will encourage you, walk with you, give you tips and tricks, do classes with you, share with you, whatever you need to be successful. So if you are looking for a way to get your order paid for, maybe you need a side income, maybe you want to replace your income, that is an option that you have with Young Living once you get your kit. And this community is the best one to sign up with. So definitely talk to whoever sent you this video.
Awesome. Love hearing your story, Ashley. Thank you. And I got so excited about the muscle rub and hearing your stories about ER and the biz. I forgot to tell you about the last thing that comes in the CBD Starter Kit, which is the Calm Roller. So this is CBD oil with essential oils for the purpose of calm and relaxing. I have one of these in my bedroom for before sleep, and this helps me sleep super well. And then I also carry one in my purse and use for any stressful situations that we have coming up. This, I think, it's so hard to choose, but I think this is one of my favorite smelling Young Living products. The oils that they use in here, there's frankincense, lavender, orange, vetiver, and ylang ylang. And when you put it all together, it smells heavenly, and it really, really does work. I have a fear of flying and used to have to take some things to help me fly. And last time I just used this and we all lived. So I am a huge fan of the CBD Calm Roll-On. In fact, this whole starter kit is really extraordinary, and something I wish I would have had an option to purchase many years prior. So you can get the starter kit that comes with these 3 products. The basic one is 165. That's 500 milligrams of these and 300 on the muscle rub. Or you can upgrade and get the 1,000 milligram and 600 on the muscle rub for $250. And for high quality CBD, that's really a steal of a deal. That also gets you your Young Living membership, access to essential rewards, your referral link, and our community, among many other perks. So CBD is also available if you're already a member, and you can, as it's been mentioned, order it on essential rewards and get points back for that. We cannot wait to hear your stories about how these CBD products have changed your life, just like they have so many that you've heard from this evening. And we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us. Good night.